Hello there, people. And here we go again. I said I would do one. It's taken us a while to get through it, but I'm going to do the 2022 Man Cave Tour. It's basically the beginning of the year. It's only the 2nd of January, so yeah, is how my thing is looking right now. You like it? Right, see you there. Right. Only joking, guys. So yeah, we're going with the tour of the Man Cave, and as you can see, I like to try and do things in a sort of more dynamic style if and when I can. So start off with Superman and General Zod. Yen sort of have General Zod beaten on Superman, and you can see here where I'm trying something slightly different. Whereas I've got clear acrylic poles, so that basically when you stand back it looks like General Zod's floating on his own. I'd like to do the same with Soup, but I'm going to find a way of getting things, because obviously he's having to use the clamp here, whereas with this one I can feed it up through. Yeah, it's not affecting this part, but it does hold them up nicely and it's hidden away. So I'd like to do something similar with Soup's. There you go. And then we've got Russell Crowe playing obviously his father. Yeah, another great sculpt. I'm just not sure whether I'll end up keeping him when I eventually start to run into space, just for the simple fact is he stood there out the way on his own, not really in amongst this sort of little dynamic world, but it is a great sculpt and it is a great sort of looking character. Then we'll go on to Judge Dredd. I'm an 80s guy, I was born in 1971, so if you do your maths, guys, you'll find that I'm now in my 50s as of recording this. I'm basically just 50-year-old. So this is sort of the original Dredd for me. Yeah, so even though the actual sort of uniform and everything else that isn't that great, isn't that thingy, it's still sort of the original Dredd. I would like to get the Carl Urban version of Dredd at some point, because I think that one was a great one. Yeah, but the fact that this here is one of the best sculpts you can actually get of Sly, you know, it is one of the better sculpts I've seen out there of Sly, so I'm quite happy to have that. Yeah, and obviously the base that you get with it, it's a nice base. And we've got my beardo beer that I got off my kids, and of course we have Walter White. You know, another great character. I was once told that I looked like him when I used to have the sort of the goatee before I grew the full beard in. I was told I looked like him because I've got a bally head as well. So he was a must-have character for me. Plus I loved the actual program as well. The program Breaking Bad was amazing, so he had to be good. And he's another great character. And we also have Wesley Snipes as Blade. Again, loved those movies. The third one, obviously, less said about that one the better. But the fact is, you know, you cannot think that he was an absolutely brilliant Blade. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the new guy that takes over, I'm sorry I can't remember his name, like I said to you, I'm not one of those ones that will remember, like, sort of, like this guy, I don't know who made it, I don't know what companies brought that one out, same as I'm not sure which one that one is. You know, I know most of my stuff is Hot Toys, SooSoo toys, Iran, stuff like that, but I will have others in amongst them, and I've got no idea what they are, and I'm not bothered. I just like, you know, I look at it and again, yeah, that's a good likeness, I like it, it's a nice looking thingy, I'll have that one for my collection. Yeah, so I know this one is Hot Toys, so, but I do have characters like these that aren't Hot Toys, that are a secondary make. Yeah, but this one is the Hot Toys version. He is old now and his ankles are starting to like sort of not be as good as what they once were, but he's still managing to stand up on his own, so I'm happy enough for that. And of course, we've got Donnie. Yeah, I think, you know, with most guys, most of these will be the ones that will sort of think him from his movie days. With me being a bodybuilder, I actually fell in love with the idea and the thing is in how Arnold looked way before he became this monstrous guy in the movies, you know. I knew him from sort of getting these books and seeing him on the covers of the magazines and stuff like that, you know, and he's just amazing back then as well as he is now. These ones here, Bumblebee, and I can't remember his name, but again, these two absolutely fantastic characters. I think these were 3-0 or 3A, it depends on what they think, because they call themselves different things all the time. But these were absolutely fantastic. You know, most of it's die cast. You can get them in so many variety of different positions and stuff like that. You know, they're just absolutely fantastic. I am so glad I got these things, and I got them at reasonable prices. You know, most of my stuff you'll find I get at reasonable prices if I won't pay stupid money out for stuff. Then we've got these little characters. You know, I bought these ones because I basically love Predator, and as you'll see soon, I absolutely love me Predator figures. Yeah, so these were a must buy for me, just because in this corner, yeah, as you can see, it goes down, so I wouldn't really be able to fit 6 scale characters in there, not stood up anyway. I would have to have them sitting down, you know. So I bought the smaller ones. Now this guy, the Terminator one, I've had for absolutely years, since I was a teenager. I mean, I sort of collected back when I was a teenager, then I stopped collecting for a long time because it just started getting very expensive as a hobby. So you can see that's obviously not the original gun. It did have, I think it was a shotgun or something in there, but again, like I said, they went up in the loft when I was a young'un. They went up in the loft and a lot of them ended up getting broken. Like you see it, well, that's needs refitting back on again. And Snake Plissken lost his hand, got no idea where the hell it went, even though they were all put into a big bag to keep them sort of from losing anything. Oh, I'm still managing to lose his hand, but I still love the character itself, you know. He's one of the McFarlane toys. And then we bought these ones and I started collecting again. I'm not as happy with this one. It didn't look as good as what I thought it was going to, but hey, got it anyway. And of course we've got the Joker, which is a pretty good one. I got this one because I didn't think I was going to be able to afford the 6 scale version. You know, he was just going for stupid money and I'm not willing to pay stupid money, so I bought the little version just so I'd have a version of them. Again, these ones go back to the days when I first started collecting. You know, Edward Scissorhand, great little figure. And of course, Samuel L. Jackson, the Shaft. He just needs cleaning off because it's a man cave, guys. You know, there's going to be cobwebs and all sorts in here. Moving down one, we have a couple of Star Wars action figures, smaller ones, and we Spawn. I love Spawn. I've never read any of the comics. The first time I got introduced to Spawn was in the movie back in the 80s. You know, and I enjoyed that. And when I saw this in the local shop, because you got to think, guys, here in the UK we do not have as many comic book shops as what you have in the US. Okay, we're very limited. This was Forbidden Planet. I think it's one of the biggest comic book shops that we have over here in the UK, and these do the McFarlane toys, and that's what this one was, and I just loved it, you know. So I had to get myself a couple of those things. This Sideshow Clown, you know, you sort of line up against the corner a little bit because obviously the ankles just aren't Hot Toys style ankles, so they give way quite quickly, but I still have them there. Then we'll have Commander Cody. Yeah, looking great. Brilliant head sculpt on this one. We have a 5-0 first. Thumbs up. Good one, guys. I've also got Rex on the way at some point from some of those that shall not be named. Then we have Lightside, Anakin. And I've got one of them I got from Hot Toys, and one of them, because you'll see I've got the dark side version as well. One of them is a put together one, and I can't for the life of me remember which. I've probably got basically the box up in the loft to know which one was which, but for the life of me I can't remember which one I've actually got as the Hot Toys version and which one I got which was just a made up version. Then of course we have Han Solo in the carbonite, just because we have of course Boba. Yeah, gotta love Boba, and you've gotta love watching the Book of Boba Fett. It's just amazing. Excuse me. And then of course when we move across, and we've got 2 bottles of Stormtrooper ale with being held by a Stormtrooper. Then I've got, see, my family crest. It's upward. That's my family crest there. And then of course we move across to these guys from Rogue One. Yeah, Imri or Imru or whichever it is you see it. Absolutely fantastic figure. You know, Donnie Yen, great actor, great martial artist. It's a shame that he wasn't used more. Yeah, and of course, I can't remember the name of the actress that played this one, but she played a really good role, done it well, and I love this figure. It looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, and of course, this thing, the base here, diorama style base, absolutely brilliant. Love that thing. And of course, we move across, we have the young Obi-Wan. And I have him on just a few rocks that I found outside to give him the high ground over dark side. Anakin. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Again, of course, you've got them squaring off with each other. So what you do, and come down, and we have Riddick from the 2 movies. I haven't got one from Pitch Black. At least I don't think that one's from Pitch Black. I think that one's from Riddick itself, from the Chronicles of Riddick. Yeah, and this one's from the sort of the last movie he did, you know, which was another great one. I love those movies, you know. I'm not really a horror fan. That's what I don't class them as horror. I class them as sci-fi. Some people class them as horror, the same as like the Predator films and the Alien films. I don't class them as horror. I class them as sci-fi, and I enjoy them. As such, yeah, these are great sort of figures. Again, not sure who made them, because I know they're not Hot Toys. They could be Toy Zero, they could be pretty SooSoo toys or whatever, but I just love them because the head sculpts are pretty good, and the characters themselves are pretty damn good. And there were some 2 great films that I loved. And we'll just pan it a little bit, because I've just put this one like that yesterday. You know, it's not quite as good as what I'd hoped it would look, but it's basically the thing screwed into the bit of wood there, holding them up. Yeah, but then of course we have Rocket and Groot, and I love this version of Groot. You know, but again, he's been another that was bloody hard to get a hold of, in most places expensive as hell. But I'm happy as Larry to have this version of him. You know, I think it's to me, it's the one I like, it's the one I prefer. You know, and we have an old version of Thor. Don't ask me which one it is, guys. Hopefully you want to use a lot of yourselves. Maybe put it in the comments. I've got no idea. I've had him for quite a while. Yeah, the only thing I wasn't too keen on with this one is the actual hair piece, the way it's thingied. It doesn't sort of fit in as nice as what it should be, so it's too easy to spot. But you know, I'm happy to have an early version of him in. His ankles are pretty much on the way out with this guy as well. Like it's one of those things, but you can't fix them. Then we have Cap, one of the few caps that I happen to have. And then there's another Hot Toys version. And we have this one here, Iron Man, and of course when you get close you'll be going, that can't be a Hot Toys. Yeah, right guys, it's not a Hot Toys. This one actually is one of the, I think it's a Crazy Toys or something like that thingy, which is basically a statue. Yeah, but at the time I couldn't afford any of the Hot Toys versions of them because they were just going for stupid money at the time. So I got that one just so I'd have a one in my collection. You know what I mean? And I've kept hold of them for now. I will eventually get rid of it, but for now it's still doing a job. It's still thingy. And of course we have the dynamic duo of the Black Widow and Hawkeye, and that's a good version of Hawkeye. I like the sort of the purpley red colour that he has. Yeah. These boots are brilliantly done. I have a few versions of Black Widow because I just think she was a great character, played absolutely brilliantly by Scarlett Johansson. And so I'm well happy to have these two. These two were unboxed when I got them really cheap. But for me, again, like I say, I'm not particularly bothered about having the boxes on some of the things because I just want the characters. You know, I'm displaying the characters, not the boxes. This one again is a third party version. It was just put together from the bits and pieces. And as you can tell by the sculpt, you know, the sculpt's not the best in the world, but it still looks enough like that, especially from a distance, to be able to get away with it. So I'm quite happy with it because again, it's another one. The Scarlet Witch is just so bloody expensive to try and pick up that I'm just not willing to pay the prices to get the Hot Toys version. So that one does it. And here we have, yeah, the Black Panther. I've had this one for a while, and again, it's another Crazy Toys one. It's literally a statue, and as you can see, it's actually falling over now. Sometimes can get very hot in here during the summer months, and the ankles are sort of like started to lean because of how top heavy he is. So I need to sort of warm them up again and get them sort of leaning back out over. And of course we have Don Cheadle in the latest version of his armour. And I think it's not anywhere near as good as some of the other ones that was out because it doesn't have as many things to add on to it. You know, it's just, but it's very clean looking, and it's one I can afford to have in the collection, so I've got it. We have Ant-Man from Ant-Man and the Wasp. I did want to pick up a Wasp, but again, for some reason, all of a sudden, she's just shot up in price, and I'm not willing to pay the prices for them. So it would be one of those ones that I would pick up in a time when I can get one for a decent enough price, because I'm not willing to pay silly money. Because you've got to remember, here in the UK, it's a little bit more expensive than what it is to get them in the US. Yeah, got this thing off my daughter, so that's why it's in here, the little sort of mural sort of thing. And of course we have here Maleficent. Again, I love me Disney stuff. I enjoyed the Maleficent films. It's a different take on it. Angelina Jolie is an absolutely fantastic actress in every part she's ever played. Load of it. I think she's absolutely brilliant. So she's played another great part in this one. And we've got sort of me Wolverines. So as you can tell, I'm a big Hugh Jackman and Wolverine fan. So we have sort of hobo style one. We have the Days of Future Past one, which is a great figure. Probably one of the better of the head sculpts as well for him of that time period. Again, as you can see, I'm always trying to make them sort of look like they're in motion, they're doing something. Same with this one. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Then we'll move down. We have two R2-D2 cups. This one being the newest one I got for Christmas off one of my daughters. Then we'll go into the sort of small martial arts section. It's only small, want to build it up, want to get more. But we have Boyka, played by Scott Adams, great martial artist. And I think he would be brilliant as a Batman. I think he would play a brilliant part as a Batman. We've got obviously one of my favourites. I've watched him since I was a young'un. You know, Jackie Chan, just one of the absolute masters and one of the absolute brilliant ones. Again, you can see his hands come off. We've got to find that and put that back on again. And we have Donnie Yen is Ip Man. That's a dog jumping up on the bloody chair. I'd like to be able to get Bruce Lee, but again, Bruce Lee at the minute is just going for stupid money. And I'd also like to see when they make a Tony Jaa, because Tony Jaa is the newest one that I'm getting into, and I'm loving the stuff that he does. Got another version of Cap. Yeah, the sort of suited normal plainclothes Cap. And we have Infinity War Thor. Or is it Endgame Thor? I can't remember which now again. You have Villeneuve and Stormbreaker. And we have another version of the Black Widow. I love that top that she wears. Love this version of it. Just, I need to do something with the hair, because these are one of the worst things about these rooted hair ones. You know, the hair just can become a bit of a freaking pain in the arse. So I need to sort of do some work on them and get the hair looking a bit better. Infinity War Cap. Another one of the ones that was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And again, I've quite tried to make him sort of look like he's just caught the things he comes whizzing past him. We have Gladiator Hulk. That's just one of the ones that I've probably paid almost about the most for. Not quite. I think I have got another couple of characters that I paid slightly more for, but that's just because of how old they are and how hard they are to get out of. But this one I still paid quite a chunk of money out for, but he was well worth it, you know. He's just an absolute monster of a guy, and he looks fantastic. And of course, to go with them, we have Gladiator Thor on the floor with him, with my gauntlet that I got off one of my daughters last year for Christmas, I believe. And come up and show you the start of my Predator collection. I have quite a number of the Predators. Don't ask me which ones are which, because I wouldn't even be able to contemplate to tell you. I know a few of them, but not many of them. Yeah, I think this one is the Lost Predator, because it's on a stand, it says Lost Predator, so I'm taking it that one's the Lost Predator. Yeah, and we come across and we have this guy. It's kind of cool. Yeah, like you see, I absolutely love my Predator figures. I have this one, which is basically the tracker Predator. Again, another cool looking one, but as you can see, the pleather is just absolutely falling apart. It's one of the worst things about these guys is the pleather just comes apart absolutely terribly. You know, but the rest of them was pretty good. We've got the tracker itself, which you can see, where I've literally tried to use some things to keep these in, because these things keep fucking falling out. You know, I'm always freaking losing because it gets obviously windy in here, and the doors are always banging open and shut, and the dog's coming in, so it gets knocked now and again, or the wind blows them out. You know what I mean? But then we have Berserker, which is one of the ones I didn't think I would ever get, because I wasn't looking at them online, and I saw the face masks and I was like, I'm not thinking on that one, I'm not sure of that one. As soon as I had them in hand, I was like, wow, this one looks amazing. It's one of those very, very weird ones that it looks so much better in person than what it can be online. Yeah, and I do absolutely sort of love that mask when it's in person. And we have sort of the original Predator here. Again, love this diorama base that he comes with. And then we have me quarter scale NECA one. Again, I think he's broken off of it over the time. It's basically, it's sitting back here, but as you can see, it's like literally the thing snapped off there, so in order to get that onto there, I don't know how to just really try and glue it in place or put something through it. You drill a little hole or something through it to get it back on. But I mean, I'm happy enough with this guy, you know. He looks fierce and menacing. ready to attack. Yeah, that's me back wall. Obviously I don't get to see from where I sit, but I do get to see it as soon as I'm coming through the door. Yeah, that's me back wall. And of course I've got this guy hanging upside down in the doorway on his phone. I kind of think that looks sort of really cool. We'll come round this way and have a look. Of course, the first thing we've got on top here is some of my cups, or some more of my cups from Star Wars. There's Bubba, Darth Vader, and a Stormtrooper one. And we'll come into me sort of more of the Marvel universe. We have Cap in his army uniform, and we have this one in his sort of one of his first early uniforms, throwing the shield, or catching the shield as it's come back to him, whichever way you want to think of it as being. It may be looking more like he's sort of catching it as it comes back to him. And we'll come down to my little Iron Man section with the Mark 50. I would like to get the Mark 85, either the clean or the battle. Probably the battle damage one is going to be the more thingy one, but again, at this present moment in time, it's a little bit far out of my league price wise, and I'm just not willing to pay. And of course the Mark 2, yeah, flipping the bird. And then this Lego helmet, which I love. Got off my daughter's boyfriend last year. And we'll come down. We have Peter Quill and Nebula. Peter doing his dance, from the iconic dance from the first movie, which I absolutely love. I've had it in that. I've had it like that for the last probably 3 years that I've had them. I just love it. You know what I mean? I just absolutely love it. I think it's an iconic thingy. And of course we've got Nebula holding the gauntlet, which is just shooting off. And of course we have itty bitty Groot. And come down to the bottom shelf, which is my little bad guy section. We have Hela, which she's just fantastic. I mean, I slept on her for a good while. I was just very, very lucky. Picked her up very, very cheap. Some of the stuff was missing, but I wasn't particularly that bothered. I just managed to be like, glad to have her in the actual thingy. And then obviously this guy is, again, it's like, it's not Hot Toys, it's a third party one, but I think it looks good. Yeah, Ebony Moore. I have got the other two coming as well, which one of them should be here any time now, so I'm looking forward to getting them and getting them set up. But there you go. We're also hidden down the back here, we have the speeder bike from sort of Return of the Jedi, which I have got on order a trooper to go on it, so I'm looking forward to when he comes. Let's go at the top of this one, and we have the BB-8, I think it's BB-8 cup, and my Chewbacca cup. It's one of the little tiny version of Spidey. It'll come down to sort of DC figures. So we have the two original, not the original because you go back to 66 for the originals, which was again in sort of my time. I remember watching Adam West play Batman as a kid, but this guy is the first sort of true iteration of Batman to go on the big screen, where he looked more like menacing than anything else, you know. Michael Keaton, brilliant. Just a shame that the actual sort of uniform didn't look too great, but I still love that one, and so glad I managed to get a hold of them. And of course, the iconic Jack Nicholson's Joker, which was just absolutely fantastic. Love it to bits. Great figure. Again, I got it sort of unboxed, so there's quite a few of the bits and pieces missing, but again, I just wanted the character, and that was the only way I was going to get him at a cheap enough price. We'll come down to this shelf, which is the Nolan trilogy shelf, and of course we have Bane picking up Batman by the neck to give him a good smackdown. As you can see, his feet's off the ground, being lifted by Bane. But again, in the back there you might just be able to see how I've got him lifted by those things. I don't know how well you can make them out, but they are there, and they're going across the back and going through his arms like that. Look, see, actually that's how it's keeping them up, but that gets covered by his cape. We have Catwoman. Again, I have been very, very lucky in the fact that you can see all of the stuff on her is still in good nick. All the pleather stuff and that's still in good nick, unlike Dean Knight, which is unfortunate. His has come apart, mine's still in damn good nick, so I've been lucky in that respect. And then of course I eventually managed to pick him up, a version of the Joker. I love it. Yeah, in brilliant form. And we'll come down to the next shelf for Nightmare Batman. One of the scenes that I absolutely loved in the sort of one of the only scenes that was really that good in that film. I haven't seen the Snyder cut, the Snyderverse version of it, because again, living in the UK, we don't have HBO Max and stuff like that, so I haven't managed to watch it yet. Eventually I will, and I look forward to sort of seeing how much different it is. Then we'll come down to your Justice League figures, or basically my version of the Justice League figures. We've got another Superman. We have a couple of the pops as well. Don't hate me for it. And of course we have Wonder Woman. Not the greatest head sculpt in the world, but you can see how it's meant to be, and it works in well enough for me. And of course we have the Batfleck. I prefer sort of this uniform to the actual armoured up versions of them. I prefer this version, so I've never picked up any of the actual armoured versions because I'm just not that bothered about them. So you go guys, that's that particular one. And again, up on here we have some more pops. Wasn't into that Han Solo movie, but I thought these are sort of were reasonably priced, and I thought was I will pick them up. What the hell, you know? I mean, there was no coming out at the time that I could get, so I thought I'll just pick them up. And then we'll go down to me sort of miscellaneous. It's just a different bits and pieces that I've collected. And this obviously is the Deadpool from Deadpool 2. Deadpool can go with anything, can go with anyone, you know. He's just one of those absolutely amazing characters, played so well by Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, it was just a part that was made for him, the Merc with the mouth. And of course Cable from the same movie. And this one is not the Hot Toys version, because Hot Toys version hasn't even come out yet. Still waiting on it, but that head sculpt, you can see yourself, it's good enough to me. It's an absolutely brilliant likeness to Josh Brolin, so you can't go wrong. And I think, tell you what is, I'm proud of myself here, because for the fact that I'm not very good with remembering names and remembering where I got stuff from, I'm doing pretty friggin' well here, so I'm quite proud of myself. Then we'll come down to me sort of Keanu Reeves stuff. We have obviously the one Neo, flip, which again you can see I've got the acrylic stand holding them up, so he's doing the flip without having to have a thingy stand there. And of course we've got John Wick. Yeah, gotta love John Wick movies, they are absolutely fantastic. Head sculpt again isn't great considering it's Hot Toys. I'm sure it's the Hot Toys version I got. Isn't the best in the world, but it's still good enough for me. It does the job. I know who it's supposed to be. You can come down, I've got more of the Predators, because I can say to you guys, I am a Predator fiend and I just absolutely love me Predators. You know, I would love to see them make more good movies of the Predators, not like the last diabolical one they made, which was freaking crap. You know, I'd love to see them make some more good ones, like the original style one, or take them back to the past or whatever, show some of the thingies. You know, you've got the elder Predator right up front and centre. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. And that one there is the Falconer Predator. Again, you can see I never have them on stands, so I do have the odd occasional accident where they fall over. So that's what's happened with this guy. As you can see on his shoulder, that's where the Falconer style thingy should be, but it fell over and snapped off, and I've yet to fucking get around to fixing it up back on again. But it's something I'm going to have to eventually try and do, because it looked so good with it on there. But yeah, I do have those thingies because I don't want to use the stands as I've got to. And of course we'll go to the very bottom shelf, which is the big chap, an alien. Again, it's just absolutely brilliant, and it's still pretty good because I don't have the mouth opened up to put stress on that jaw line. Yeah, but he looks absolutely brilliant. Yeah, gotta love it. And then of course with the Shadow Predator, again another one that looks just absolutely brilliant. Yeah, love me Predator figures. That's that shelf, guys. Then we come up, we have a little thingy in there hidden away, got that from my sis. We'll come up the top here. You see that's the diorama piece that goes with the Dark Side on again, I believe. So that must be my Hot Toys version that I got, must have been the Dark Side one, because I'm sure it goes with the Dark Side one. And we've got obviously this little one, and then this thing which was an MP3 player thing. Yeah, little Bluetooth device, but I love it. And we'll come across a little bit further, we've got this guy floating, Doctor Strange and Benedict Cumberbatch. They're not great. Don't ask me which one it is, whether it's from his standalone movie or whether it's from the Infinity Wars or whatever. I honestly don't know. Okay guys, I don't know, I don't remember, and I don't really care. I just like the look of it, so I got it. Now we have two of the original style Darth Mauls. You may be wondering why I've got two. This is the original one, Sideshow piece. This one I hold on to because it has a great deal of thingy to me, because it was bought for us by my mum. Yeah, and it was basically a piece that I can't get rid of because of that. Even though it's Sideshow and it's not quite as good as the Hot Toys version, it's smaller, it's daintier, it just still looks really good. And it gives us a chance to see the sort of pair of them side by side, you know, to get the sort of the comparison. It's just how good Hot Toys varieties are compared to the Sideshow versions. Yeah, but I sort of, I won't get rid of them. There'll always be a place for them somewhere in here. But I would like to get Qui-Gon and pose Qui-Gon with him. You know, that would be a good thing to do. But again, Qui-Gon's gone up in price quite a bit, so I can't think it, but I won't ever sort of get rid of this guy because this one was bought for us by my mum, so it means a lot to us. And then we'll come down, we've got Han and Chewie. Again, so glad I've managed to pick these two up. They were both separate, but I'm just, you know, they had to go together. They're iconic, so they had to go together and be in the same detail together. Yeah, it's just the way it goes. Then we'll come down and we have C-3PO, Return of the Jedi Luke, R2-D2, and of course Yoda himself. Yeah, that's the Sideshow version. It looks kind of cool, does the trick because Hot Toys never really got around to doing one. I think that's the Hot Toys version of them with all the stuff that you had from Return of the Jedi. And you come down, we have the iconic scene of Darth Vader striking down Obi-Wan, Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan, which again, that sculpt is absolutely fantastic. So glad I managed to pick this one up. It's another one that you're not going to get rid of these things, man. And of course 2 more Stormtroopers, because you can't have enough Stormtroopers and things like that. So we've got them. Again, I'm just so happy. You know, as you can see though, when you look, I'm missing Princess Leia. I've been trying to get a hold of her one for such a long time, but again, they're just stupid money. Absolutely stupid money, and I'm just not willing to pay it. I'm not willing to pay close to 500 quid for a Princess Bloody Leia. Anyway, they need to bring another one out. To me, anyway, they need to bring another one out. We've got some more cups up there, my gauntlet, my Groot, and of course, Gizmo. You know what I mean? Little fluffy Gizmo. And of course, we have the iconic Robocop. Can't beat a bit of the Robocop. Again, it's from my era of Robocop, the original Robocop. And we'll move down, and of course we've got 3 versions from the Terminator original movie. We have the Terminator as he just arrives. Which, you know, that's the wrong head sculpt. It should be that style one, but this still works. Yeah, probably some of you might not even have noticed if it wasn't for the fact that I pointed it out myself. Then of course we've got the Techno scenes version of them. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then of course the T800 version of them, which is absolutely fantastic. Just picked that one up quite recently, and as you can see, I've got him doing the iconic thing of him dragging his leg behind himself. And of course we have the little keychain. And you might be wondering, these bodies, I've had that in that position since I got it, which was like probably nigh on a year ago, maybe just under a year ago. I did straighten it out the other day. There is no issues with it whatsoever in that respect. Yeah, and that's after almost a year of him being in this position. I straightened him out and he's okay. But he has the kicker. Look at that, guy's on his back. I hope you can see that. There's not really wanting to thing in. There you go. You can see that? His back's barely bent compared to what his knees are, and yet you have that going on his back. Yeah, so that's a strange one to me, but that is the sort of thing that's happening with that. And we've got me sort of me Logan figures, so it's proven once again that I really do love Hugh Jackman as playing the part. Basically doing the Hulk, like he's there. And then we've got him there with his daughter. Have a Logan figure, old man Logan at the front, and one of these things because the other one broke. Then we come down and we've got way more. Got his original and one from the Wolverine. Again, not a pretty good sculpt on that one. And got these wood claws on this one. The only thing like he's just sort of gone. That's sort of, to me, it's like an iconic style stance they had, and of course going up against his brother. Which again, I wish he was still involved in the movies because he's such a great actor and he should play such a good part. To me, I know there's a lot of people don't like the origin movie. Okay, maybe it's just because you have a more comic book background to him, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. Yeah, those here with the more comic book background to it might not like it for some reason, but I thought it was okay. Yeah, I enjoyed the action scenes in it, and I thought this guy played a brilliant part. So there you go, that's that one. And of course down here we have the big chap himself. His mean face on. Yeah, he looks absolutely cool. Such a presence. Just doesn't fit in the detail at the minute. He's just stood on the floor. We have a Black Widow from the Black Widow movie. Yeah. You can see it's late. One of making me some of my videos, and I've got this that was made for us by me sis, the bulldog, because any of you know my channel, you know that I've got a bulldog, and I'm in love with me little bulldog Bruno. Got this one that was made off my sis as well. And then of course we'll come out and we've got Mary Poppins. Iconic scene of Quill and his father, or later classes stuff is his father, which again, this is one of the best head sculpts that I've ever come across. You know, it is just absolutely fantastic. They've done such a great job. It's such a shame that the spoiler alert, they killed that character off, because he's absolutely fantastic and I love that scene, so I had to redo it here. Yeah, just absolutely brilliant. Don't move anything because I've just had my dinner in here not so long ago. And got, yeah, this is got for us off my mum as well, because she knows I'm into my skulls and what have you. So it's a light skulls, and we've got my Mandalorian section, IG-11, great figure. Absolutely love this thing. It's absolutely brilliant how much detail goes into it, and the fact that all of these different things sort of move and you can get these into so many different positions and what have you, you know, it's absolutely fantastic. And you have the big guy himself, the heavy Mando, you know, that one that was just has such shelf presence, that's incredible. Then we have the armourer beating the crap out of another character. And then we go up and we have the Punisher, which again, John Berthel played an absolutely amazing part in that, and I hope to God he eventually comes back into the MCU, but doesn't get watered down, because his character needs to be a heavy hitter. Charlie Cox as Daredevil, another one. So glad he's in the MCU, so glad that they've brought him back, because he was absolutely fantastic at it. And then probably the most iconic figure I have, the one figure that I would never ever leave my thingy, Brandon Lee's The Crow. he was a fantastic actor, cut down in his prime, same age as his dad when he died. So it was The Curse of the Dragon. Yeah, but absolutely love it. And this one was probably one of my first ever figures I bought. Yeah, and of course when I started collecting Hot Toys, this was one of the first ones I bought. And I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And we've got my man cave. Yeah, and obviously you can see got my TV set up. Then we've got the next bit of Mando. It's Durasteel, walking pose with Grogu in the pram. Then we've got Durasteel, oh sorry, Beskar, Mando flying, just taking off or landing, whichever way you want to look at it, with Grogu. You can see how I've got it to hold him in place. This one go here first. They have Ghost Rider on his bike. I've got it up there because I know the six figures will fit up there standing, so with him being sitting on his bike, it literally just fits in there nicely. Yeah, so I'm kind of cool with that one. And they come down. That's probably one of the more expensive figures I've bought. Dutch cost us quite a bit to get them, or quite a bit for me, because I got them for, I think it was just a little over 300 quid. Yeah, so, but I'm so happy I've got him because he's just been so friggin' hard to get out of, and you can see he still stands up on his own, which is cool. And then we have the original Jungle Predator on his little diorama piece. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And we'll come down, you can see I've got another little sort of diorama setup here, which I absolutely love. I think it's absolutely brilliant, especially if you put the lights on, but again, the batteries die out too quick on these damn things. But you've got one of the elementals being surrounded by the smoke from Mysterio. Obviously Mysterio. There, another one. Great figure. Absolutely, just, I wasn't going to get it at first, but when I started seeing some of the reviews on it, some of the things on it, I just thought, oh my god, wow, it looks incredible in the smoke effect type things, and you know, I just thought, nah, it's got to be got. And in this one I got surprised about, like it literally surprised the hell out of me. I picked him up, saying just I'll do a review on him, probably end up getting rid of him because he's not iconic Spider-Man. It's not Spider-Man to me, but when I'm getting him in hand, I absolutely fucking love him. I absolutely love him, and I think he's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he's still possibly not quite what you class as Spider-Man to me, but he still looks amazing, and there's just so much detail in his uniform, and that I just love it. You know what I mean? I absolutely do love it. It's just brilliant. And of course we have my PlayStation shelf because I won't have my PS5 in here for obvious reasons. And we'll go up to the top here where there's a little space, and we'll have my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I just think are absolutely fantastic. You know, the details in these things are just phenomenal. You know, I absolutely love these guys. It would have been nice to get the quarter scale NECA ones, but again, they were just going for stupid money, and I'm not willing to pay stupid money for things. You know, it's not worth it. Not when I can buy more of other things with the same amount of money I would have spent on one of them. This is another one of the very early statues I got when I was a teen. As you can tell, I must have been a teen when I got this thing. But she is fantastic. And there's just the devilly style thingy there is just fucking brilliant. And of course one of my favourite games back in the day. Then we have my Stormtrooper to hold on to me controller. And then of course another one of my Spawn characters sitting in his throne. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And this guy needs a bit of a clean. As you can tell, I've just done this off the fly. I could have cleaned them up first, but I didn't bother. And skull. We pan out. We have Falcon doing his flying off, shooting people. Brilliant little thingy. We've got this thing up on me, crashing through my ceiling. Just got this for Christmas off me daughter's boyfriend again. Goes alongside this one, hanging up from me ceiling joist. As you can see, if you want to thingy, that's how I have them up there. So you can see that I do have something there to protect. I think it's the same on both sides, so that's how I've got him up there, for those that want to know how I've done it. Then we've got these little figures here. Again, I'd only bought these things because I needed something to fit across the top, and these are about the only things that do. They're not the best looking figures in the world, but they're doing a job for the time being. Got a few Funkos, and across there, you know, I think they're sort of like kind of cute up there, and we've got a sort of almost like a full set of them, so I'm quite happy. And we have this Iron Man figure, again, sort of floating off, and we think he's flying. Don't ask me which version it is. You guys will probably know better than me. It's one of the 40s. I think it's is it the 43 or something like that. It's one of the early 40s, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I've got him flying up there. That's kind of cool. We've got this one that I still need to find a place for. Again, got that off me daughter's boyfriend this year. Got me stuff on me thingy there. I've got me down here. We have the Spider-Man sort of homecoming, his sort of thingy suit, and I just didn't like it. It has got the actual drone in there as well, yeah, and I just couldn't get away with it. You know what I mean? To me it wasn't Spider-Man, so I boxed it back up, ready to go. Then we have, last but not least, these three sort of little ornaments here, which again I got just because I needed to fill up some space. If I could find other characters that would fit in there, then eventually maybe they'll be replaced with something else. But there you go, guys. That is the Man Cave tour of 2022. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope I've managed to sort of give you a good in-depth view of how I do things, the way things are, and how my man cave looks. You know, and this is for now. I mean, I would like, because I've watched Justin's collection video, I would like to get mod cases to replace a lot of this stuff, because then I would fit more characters on and in them, and also possibly even replace those with mod cases. But mod cases are very, very expensive, guys. They're very expensive, so it's going to be something that I'm going to have to save long and hard for if I'm wanting to replace these things with mod cases. But I do like how it looks for the time being, you know. So there you go. That is the tour of my man cave. Now it's time for you and I, or for you, to get the fuck out of here. Well, I know.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
What? No. I didn't. I wasn't. Why would I ever say that? I mean,
Okay.